So if I actually put these on in order, which I most likely do because I've just said this, you would have possibly just done the upper body one. So this is going to be lower body. The upper body obviously still has to hold, but the lower body is the thing that's going to be doing the work. All right. So I am going to start. So remember, please attach your TRX wherever is best for you. It could be to your door jamb, could be playground if you have one near you. So what I'm going to do is start with my arms hanging back. Don't go too deep, because all you want to do is little squats. Just start to focus on where you're at. So you've got that long line. I'm going to push my knees forward a bit. And my butt just goes straight down. So it's not the same as doing a squat when you're obviously just freestanding. It's a little bit different to that, because you've got a slightly different angle, but it's just to start to get a feel for, well, where your body is. What are you doing? How did the joints feel today? Don't hang off the TRX though. You're still using your arms to plug your arms in their sockets. So your arms are hanging, but they're not lazy. I hope that makes sense. All right, hanging would be this. Okay, I'm pulling myself up. Beautiful long spine, long back, long through my neck. And that's my last one coming up here. So then I can swing myself through. My TRX, if you look, sorry, my handle's about mid-ish thigh. Play with the length because it gives you different feelings. So here again, pushing away, gonna sit down and come up. Sit down, so my heels are going down a little bit, my heels are coming up. So now I start to get some ankle and toe mobility into it. I get my heels all the way down. Eventually, I need a little bit more range there to help keeping me get this stretch on the sit down. So warming up in two different planes. One, the arms obviously get a different feel of the pull, and my feet are getting a different action. Whenever you lift up on your toes like this, okay, if you can see, just be careful you don't roll the ankles out. There's this feeling that you've got a ball between the ankle bones, the inner ankle bones, the inner medial malleolus, that you're gently squeezing and pulling up your legs. One more. Now we're going to stay this direction for ease and step one leg forward, arms go wide, back heel is up, front heel is down. It's a simple lunge. Now options here, my arms could be kind of light, okay? But what's the point of having the TRX if I don't use it? So they're going to go out, they're going to push into my shoulders and come up. So I'm going to push down into my armpits and rise. Please don't get me wrong and think my arms are doing all the work. They're not. My front leg is going push to lift me. So I'm still making sure my legs are doing something as well as my arms. So it's a combined effort of it all. Exhale to come up will help you lift and lengthen through the core. Press down into that front heel to get that butt happening in that leg. Now from there, same thing, we're going to keep that working and lift. Okay, so the leg that was back is just lifted up. Step back, down, lift. In, circle, up. So to keep the tension on the TRX, my arms are doing a circle in and around, which also gives me just here a nice chest stretch. On your lunge, try to make sure your body drops vertically down. We're not going to lean forward on this one today. Option, but we're not. I got one more to go. Now I'm going to stay up. Check out single heel. So I've moved this leg higher so you can see that my right foot, I'm lifting up and down on that foot, and I'm having to think big toe of my right foot. My arms are reaching, but my arms are plugged in, floating up through the top of my head, and try not to let this leg do some funky spirals, basically, because it's what it kind of wants to do. What it wants to do. You ever wondered what happens to accents? So lift, lower, pull up through the kneecap as much as you're lifting up through the foot, and step back, changing legs. So straightforward lunge to start off with. You could be on train tracks, or you could be on a tightrope. Okay, tightrope meaning one foot in front of, behind the other, or in front of the other. But all that happens there is, because I've got the TRX, it's not quite so wobbly. So if you did one on one side, do the same on the other. Just realized I was a little bit too far back then. And that feeling that your spine, your body has a rod down it, and you're just dropping straight down that rod and lifting straight on up. Front heel presses down, will help you lift up through that buff front glute. And then on the next one, down, pick up, step, down, step. So there's an element now of some power coming through. Push. So a lot of the time, if we're not careful, what we do is work in this plane, forward and back, which is the sagittal plane. So once we finish this set, we're going to start to shake ourselves up a little bit. Power! I got power! Sorry. Hold there. Lift up. So keep reaching out through those arms, pressing down through your armpits. Again, big toe possibly is where you need to focus, especially if you're a runner, because that's where your push off comes through. Running and walking, same with that aspect. So even if you're a walker, which probably a lot of you are, you're getting onto the big toe. Notice your shoe wear pattern. If it's not in the big toe, it means you're staying in supination a wee bit too much. Oh, left calf burny burny, and stepping back. So many things you can do with the TRX. Now, single arm is going to hold it. You can see me better. Beautiful sky, yeah? So from there, this arm does the hold. I'm going to step wide, go off camera, come up. Now I'm leaning over my left leg, right leg lift, so I'm in a side kick, down. So the TRX is actually assisting me in some ways to push into, but I'll be honest and say in another way, because it's a little bit swobbly, it's a bit unpredictable. Woo, that's my microphone. So I have to kind of check and think, well, hang on a minute. Where is it going to take me? If I don't keep it in check in my shoulder, that is actually more wobbly. So I've got to connect into the arm, which is why it's such a good piece of kit. Now I am standing in line with my TRX. Obviously, if I stood a bit forward, my arm would be back. If I stood a bit backwards, my arm would be forward. So again, please, you can play around with that. And if you have shoulder injuries, consult your physiotherapist. Now I put my hand on my belly to make sure it's in. I'm going to hold this lift. So this arm is plugged in, this hip is plugged in, tap, lift. Now I want that leg when it lifts to go a little bit backwards to get into extension, because quads are normally the things that tighten too much on us. You could do external rotation if you want here, by the way. If you know what that is, if you don't, then just pick your leg up for now. But just making sure your hip doesn't hike up with it, which is why I'm staying long, reaching out through my left arm, reaching out through my head. Hand there is kind of going, oh yeah, it's pretty cool, core's on. Now I'm going to hold that leg up, bend the leg you're standing on, and lift. Now the problem for me now is I have to remember what I just did on this leg for when I turn over. It's okay, I'm an expert, I got it. Now my right butt cheek is going, ooh! My left leg is going, well, this is funky to do a squat on the side. And my butt and my quads are all going, interesting. Interesting, Lisa, thanks for doing this workout today. I got one more, then I will turn. So I'm going to stay facing this way. Foot face exactly where it was. So I squatted down and lifted up. Down. Now I'm trying to keep my spine in a straight line, not go into a side bend, because that will mean I'm pivoting over my right hip joint, which is what I want to do. Okay, I want to hinge over my hip rather than side bend with my body, because that means that it's getting this hip, butt, glutes, woo, balance challenge going on. And as I say, keep that right arm plugged in so the neck stays nice and long. Let's have 2 more goes, and then on this next one after this, we will stay here, and that leg went up and down, working from here, folding over the hip. This some feels a bit more challenge for me. Now, if I always find my length for my body, I just go, oh, that's what I was lacking. My right knee is a little bit soft. My butt is not soft though, especially not if I do these. Great for running, because running is movement forward, but if you get stronger in the sideward way, that also means you get stronger in the forward way. Last one to the lift, hold that leg up, get into that hip extension, knee bend down and up. Like I say, it's a very interesting way to do your leg work when you're squatting on a side like this. Not typically something you would find yourself doing with weights, but the TRX really does allow you to do that, and you have to keep focusing on lots of different things, which is why it's fabulous. We're going to do 3 more, and then, oi, woo! Ha! Shake it out. Nice work there, huh? So, sprinter's lunge, and this might be my grand finale. Oh, do I do the other length? There's so many choices, see? I still have not changed the length of this, by the way. I am efficiency driven. So I'm in a diagonal plank line. My arms have got a bit of hold. I'm on my tiptoes. One leg lifts, steps back. That is your lunge start. You kick forward. When you go back, my heel goes down on my right leg, lifts up. So that's why you've done the footwork, the quad work, drive it up. Drive it up. So good. Huge balance challenge on this supporting leg. Now I could kick this leg out as well, which is just an interesting thing for my hips to do. But whichever you do, please check what the right ankle's doing, that it's not rolling out, which, to be honest, is actually why I like working barefoot. Lots of variations on here. We're just sticking with some basics right now. Then we're going to change sides. And I just remember what the last move is that I want to do for you today. Beautiful move, big challenge again. So now my left foot, I am looking down at it. Just to have a little check that, yep, I'm staying in good ankle alignment, especially if you've ever twisted an ankle. This is super important, because if you've twisted it, you need to get the ankle muscle strength back on, which this sort of balancing thing does. My legs are loving this. One more and relax. Last move. So if you know deadlifts, this is a deadlift. So your deadlift is this soft knee, hinge at the hips, the arms reach forward. Great stretch, and then work for the hamstrings, spine nice and straight. So we're going to do single leg. So the leg that's up, I want you to think of turning it in slightly. Hinge back up, pick up the knee, optional heel raise, down. Single leg deadlift, internal rotation on the back leg. You'll think it's internally rotating, it actually won't be, because this leg typically wants to externally rotate. So you turn it in, you'll suddenly go, ooh, get this wicked ass stretch down your left hamstring. Okay, check out the change. Hinge, say, now turn. It's a little bit dancey, a little bit arabesque-ish. Come back down, come in, lift up. Right leg goes back, parallel hips. Rotate around your left leg, open the arms. Head turn more challenging on your balance. Turn back down, pelvis goes level. Bring it up, lift. So you can see this angle. I'm still on my left leg, hinging. Rotate, de-rotate. Stand up, lift. Hinge, internal rotation, right leg, external rotation, both legs to open out, circle back down, lift up, heel lift, and one more. Down, whoop, open. That's what happens when you move your head or turn a bit too far. And, okay, repeat on the other leg. So 5 of them, just pivoting over, coming up, heel lift. So again, my left leg, I'm really and truly thinking of keeping my left heel facing down to the floor, because that's what makes me feel like I'm keeping my hips level, and I'm doing my utmost to have a super strong, powerful left leg. Softness in the right knee. So my right knee's not locked out, but it's not on a huge knee bend. Again, it can. But right now for me, I'm trying to keep it straight, because then my hamstrings will get a pretty cool stretch. Fingers are loose still, loose but pressing. Here's my rotation, head turns. This is where the big toes need a good focus. Whoop, whoa, whoa. Seeing on that one, my arms didn't keep even pressure, which is why my TRX slid. So stretch out, which means my left arm wasn't pushing enough. Got it that time. And again, that's such a cool thing about the TRX. You can really get a sense of whether one leg or arm is doing more than the other. Woo! I believe I got 2 more here. I don't know why I'm doing silly accents. Truly don't. Maybe because it's coming up to Christmas 2020. Maybe just because I'm in a silly mood. Maybe because I'm just happy to be on my TRX again after a little while without it. Oh, then let it swing, shake it out. Great work for hip joints in many different planes. Rotation, stretch through the back of the leg. Good balance challenge. Footwork too, to wear those high heels, all you guys out there. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon.